A Christmas Eve party became a crime scene. The bodies inside so badly burned that police were unsure if the victims died in the shooting rampage or the subsequent fire.
Police and coroners located the last of the bodies this morning, a particularly difficult task after the intense fire that reduced the home to rubble.
Christmas to me, and just kept walking down this way, and that was it.
On December 24th, 2008, the Ortega family gathered for what was supposed to be a joyful Christmas party in a small California town. Surrounded by loved ones, they enjoyed a lively evening playing Texas Hold'em and celebrating together. However, the festivities took a horrific turn when a man dressed as Santa Claus entered their home and unleashed unspeakable violence. In a shocking act, the gunman, Bruce Jeffrey Parro, shot an 8-year-old girl in the face. Despite the brave attempts of two uncles to protect her, they also fell victim to the chaos. The rest of the family, including Papa Joe Ortega, his wife, their children and grandchildren, scrambled to hide under the dining table. But it was too late. Parro's rampage claimed the lives of multiple family members, including Papa Joe, his wife, 4 children, 2 daughters-in-law, and even their 17-year-old grandson, who was at his computer. The intense fire that followed the shooting further complicated the tragedy, making it difficult for investigators to identify the victims. They resorted to using dental records and unique medical features to piece together the family's heartbreaking loss. As chaos erupted, family members desperately tried to escape the horrifying scene. Many were gathered near the front door, making them easy targets for the gunman. Charles Ortega witnessed the horrific moment his niece was shot and saw his brother James also fall victim to the violence. Irma Chapa Ortega, a close relative, provided a heartbreaking account of the events, capturing the deep pain and devastation felt by the entire family. From celebration to catastrophe, the Ortega family's tragic Christmas Eve. James and Charles Ortega, despite being wounded, tried to get up and stop the gunman, but they couldn't. Irma also shared that the older Ortegas, Joseph and Alicia, and their 3 daughters, along with one of their daughters-in-law, Teresa, hid under the dining room table. She had been in touch with some of the family members who survived the attack, and they shared these details with her. As chaos erupted, the Ortegas and 2 of their daughters, Sylvia and Alicia, might have been killed while they were still in the dining room, but their daughter Leticia managed to survive. The Ortega family's tragedy serves as a reminder that even in the most joyful times, darkness can strike without warning. The only young person who didn't make it was Michael Ortiz, a 17-year-old who was sitting at the computer upstairs. A law enforcement source said that Michael was probably killed by the explosion or fire that started when the gunman used a homemade device made from 2 tanks to set the house on fire. It is a tragedy that a young life was lost in such a senseless act of violence. Michael's mother, Alicia, was also killed. Bruce, a 45-year-old man, was angry about his marriage ending and decided to take revenge on her and her family. He attacked them at their annual Christmas party in Covina, California. FBI experts studied Bruce's behavior and found that he had some mental health issues, including extreme narcissism and obsessive-compulsive disorder. Although there is no excuse or justification, these conditions likely contributed to his decision to commit such a horrific act. They share a tragic story of how a family's joyous celebration turned into a tragedy because of one person's anger and sickness. Bruce had a plan to escape after he attacked the Ortega family, even buying a plane ticket to Illinois, thinking he could leave the chaos behind and start fresh. However, his plan didn't work out as he expected when he set the house on fire. He badly burned himself and suffered 2nd and 3rd-degree burns on his arms, which are very painful and serious injuries. Investigation. The police searched Bruce's body and found something strange. $177,000 in cash wrapped around his legs with plastic wrap and a special underwear called a girdle. They also found his rental car parked a short walk away from his brother's house, which was rigged with a dangerous device that would explode if touched. Inside his brother's house, they found 4 empty handguns, over 200 rounds of bullets, and leftover pieces from his Santa suit rigged to explode back at Bruce's own house in Monterey, California. They also find a virtual bomb factory in Bruce's home, which was like a secret workshop where he had been making dangerous devices. Luckily, the police were able to find all of this before anyone else got hurt. Bruce Parro, a man with serious problems, was hiding his marriage and living a double life. In 2004, he met Sylvia Orza, who was 40 years old and had 3 kids from 2 previous marriages. Bruce's friends thought she was perfect for him, and they thought she could help him settle down and be happy. They got married and started a new life together, but after the first year of their marriage, Sylvia told friends he had become cold, miserable, and distant. In March 2008, Bruce and Sylvia decided to separate, and Sylvia moved in with her sister in Glensdale and eventually filed for divorce. Bruce went to Gun World in Burbank on June 13th and bought a handgun for almost $1,000 cash. He was fired on July 31st for fraud and tried to get unemployment benefits but couldn't get them. He went back to Gun World on August 8th and bought another handgun, ordered a Santa suit from a costume store, and bought 16 magazines that can hold 18 bullets each, way more than California laws allow. Just a week before Christmas, Bruce and Sylvia were officially over, and the judge ended their marriage in a courthouse in the bank. Bruce Pardo rented 2 cars, a Dodge and a Toyota, and packed the Toyota with various items like maps, water, food, clothes, and gasoline. He also put in 2 computers. Later that night, his neighbor Bong Garcia saw him leaving in the Dodge, which was weird because he usually drove his fancy Escalator Hummer. As the house burned, a neighbor saw a blue car drive away with its headlights off a pair of fake glasses, and Santa's hat had been dropped in the front yard. Bruce drove to his brother's house in Sylmar, 40 miles away, and was badly burned with severe injuries on his arms, hands, neck, and legs. His Santa suit had melted into his skin, and he was in a terrible state. Bruce's brother found his body on the couch with 2 guns next to him, and he shot himself in the mouth. He was still wearing his wedding ring. Letitia Yousefzai is a strong woman who chooses not to let anger and hate consume her. She appreciates the love and support she received from people and is grateful for the love and support she has received from people she didn't even know. Letitia believes love is the strongest energy and that it can bring people together and help them heal. She also thinks it's important to teach children about love and kindness so they can grow up to be good examples for others. She says their kids are their future, and they have to be an example for them if they teach them that it's okay to hate and be violent. During a school walkout, Letitia and Katrina Yousefzai read the names of the 17 victims killed in Parkland, Florida, 1 month ago. They are working hard to keep their family's traditions and happy memories alive, and they still get together for dinner, exchange gifts, and share stories about their loved ones who are no longer with them. On Christmas Eve, they visit the cemetery where their family members are buried instead of going to church. One of the nephews who lost both his parents in the tragedy has become the guardian of his 3 younger siblings. Letitia and her husband took in her sister's youngest daughter and worked hard to make sure the surviving kids had a sense of Christmas. Despite the investigation ending almost 10 years ago, the detectives who helped the family still keep in touch, especially around Christmas, and want to make sure they're doing well. Outro. Thank you for joining us today as we remember the tragic events that shattered the Ortega family's Christmas Eve. This heartbreaking story serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that can sometimes invade our most joyful moments. Despite the pain, Letitia and the surviving family members continue to honor their loved ones, embodying strength and resilience in the face of unimaginable loss. As we reflect on their story, let's commit to spreading love and kindness in our communities, ensuring that such tragedies are not repeated. If you found this story impactful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the human experience. Together, we can keep the memories of those we've lost alive. Until next time, stay safe and take care of each other.